Well, if you had any hope for the new James Bond game, put it aside because, here we go, baby. James Bond will have modern values in 007 First Light, claims the developer. Using old school Bond would be tone deaf. Isn't this just great news to end the year on? So, when I first saw the trailer for this game, I was like, okay. I didn't hate it immediately. I wasn't rushing like, oh my god, this looks amazing. I'm like, it looks decent, whatever. Yeah, I think I'm checked out, thank you. Actually, I'm actually thankful that the developer said this, because now this checks me out of having to buy this game. So, the phrase modern values has become one of the most reliable warning signs in entertainment, and now it's officially attached to James Bond. According to comments from IO Interactive, the upcoming 007 First Light will deliberately move away from what the studio describes as old school Bond, with developers arguing that that portrayal would be tone deaf today. Instead, the studio says its vision of the iconic spy will reflect modern values. Because, of course, we must present James Bond in the world we live today. Good fucking God. Okay. So in an interview with Monstervine, IO Interactive Cinematics director Martin Emborg explained why the studio believes its take on Bond needs to shift away from earlier portrayals. So he's evolved through the decades, and obviously we reflect modern values. Fucking no. James Bond belongs in the past. James Bond should be in like the 60s, is where he should be. That's where the character should be. He should be a spy in the 60s. So it's not going to be your old school Bond, which should be tone deaf in this day, right? He's a modern guy. I don't fucking want a modern Bond. I want this dude to be in the past, where he belongs, right? Because you're saying James Bond's an old school dude. Yeah, he is. So he should be in the past. James Bond movie should be in the 60s. The 50s, 60s. That's where his movie should be set. That's where James Bond should be set. None of this modern shit. He also addresses Bond's historic reputation as a womanizer, acknowledging that some familiar traits remain, while emphasizing that they have been reframed. You will see that when asked whether Bond will retain some of these characteristics, before reiterating that the character has been adjusted to align with modern sensibilities. So he's gonna, it's like, he'll have them, but he'll also be different, meaning he's not gonna fucking have them at all. All right, he'll be a womanizer, but he'll be respectful about it. Fuck you. Oh, here's the Grums tweet, which is how I saw this. Bond game is dead. Some game devs have learned nothing. If you made old school Bond, it would stand out so much that you would print money. But no, you have to reflect modern values for an audience that doesn't exist. Exactly. No one with your modern values is gonna fucking be enough. They may buy this game, be like, oh my god, this is a Bond for me. But they're not gonna be enough. You know who would have been enough? The actual James Bond fans. Who like the books, who like the movies, who like the suave, fucking charismatic, sly motherfucker. Right? That's who they want. That's who most people want James Bond to be. And if you had done that in this game, if you had reflected that in this game, you would have printed money. Because people would be like, damn man, another good James Bond game. But no. Now it's just James Bond has been another victim of modern sensibilities, and these people try to put the message for the modern audience, which doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the modern audience. There's just the audience. They did it again. And this is coming at a worse time, because now we're at the point where, like, you know, the casting of who's going to be the next James Bond in the movies is a big topic. Right, that's a huge thing nowadays, is how is James Bond going to be in the new movies that come out? And then we have this happen here. Like, this is not a good sign. It's really not a good sign. And especially when they did the Amazon thing, where they edited out all the guns that he was holding, all like the posters, stupid shit. Like, James Bond right now, we're not in a good place. Whether with movies or with games, he's fucked at the moment. No one is asking for a carbon copy of the 1960 Spy dropped untouched into a modern game. Updating technology, world building, and gameplay mechanics is expected. Rewriting Bond's personality to satisfy abstract values, however, is a very different thing. Entertainment history is littered with franchises that attempted to modernize their heroes only to sand down everything that made them interesting. The result is often a character who looks familiar on the surface, but feels hollow underneath, cautious, sanitized, and instantly dated once the cultural movement shifts again. That is the problem. Yes, that's the real danger, not evolution, but erosion. When you try to do these games that are set in current time. In a couple years, they're gonna be fucking dated. Games like Gotham Knights or the new Saints Row remake, we're gonna look back at them and like say that you're 2040, we're gonna go, God man, those are such 2020 games. Whereas something like Chrono Trigger, to this day, we still go, damn, that's a fucking great game. Regardless of the era we're in. That's what you should be trying to do. Not make something that fits current times, but something that will fit all times is what you need to do. 007 First Light isn't just another licensed spin-off, it's being positioned as the foundation for a new era of Bond games. According to IO Interactive, the title launches on May 28th, 2026, following a short delay. It is being described by the studio as its most ambitious project to date. It may be its last. If this modern values philosophy becomes the accepted blueprint for Bond going forward, it won't stop with one game. It becomes a precedent. A precedent has a way of reshaping entire franchises. Look at fucking Tomb Raider. Look at the garbage Tomb Raider's been going through for the past couple years. Only fucking by complete and utter shock did they announce the Tomb Raider remake, Tomb Raider 1 remake, and the new game, and Lara Croft looks like Lara Croft. And we're like, what the fuck? And they said, yeah, those Tomb Raider Survivor Trilogy games, yeah, they're not canon anymore. Fuck them. Right? Because God, Tomb Raider's been in the rut since. We had that awful fucking Netflix show where they tried to make her a butch lesbian. There was the board game that got cancelled, which had your typical modern audience shit. There was a fucking character in there who was fat and she had like 2 metal legs or some garbage. Like, God, man. Only now. And like, the only reason I think Tomb Raider has done well right now is because they re-released the old games of those collections and they sold well. Even in those collections, they still did that stupid, this represents thoughts and values that don't align with us today. I don't give a fuck, man. That's why I'm buying the game. Like, what the hell? Like, only because those did well do I think that they decided we'll capitalize on that and make Lara look like how she should. Even then, she's still, like, she's good looking, don't get me wrong. Her breasts aren't as big. You know, but whatever. I'll take an attractive Lara at the very least, right? But, like, yeah, like, look at the garbage Tomb Raider's been doing. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge is doing her Tomb Raider show, which that's gonna be fucking awful. So Tomb Raider is not in a best place, but even with like, at least in the games, you have like a, are they shifting? Are they actually trying now type of thing after being just in a rut for years? And James Bond is the next one, it looks like. After the Daniel Craig movie where he just fucking walked into explosions to die. Oh God. So there we go. That's this article. Yeah. I feel so sorry for Bond. Like, why you gotta do my man like this? Like, this dude is like the poster for like cool spy action movies, and he's just getting destroyed, man. I don't like, why you do my man like this? Do you know how much people would kill for like another Bond game that's as good as GoldenEye? Like, that should be what you'd be trying to do, is make another GoldenEye, essentially, right? In terms of like cultural impact and how great it is. But instead, no, we're following the modern audience trend, which has been proven time and time again to not work and not make your company money. If anything, it shuts down your company, shuts down your studios. We're entering 2026. Okay? By the time this video comes out, it will probably be 2026. But we are entering 2026. Learn, like, fucking feel the way the wind's blowing. This doesn't work anymore. This shit does not give you a pass anymore. Okay? If it's the reverse. Saying shit like this guarantees your game's going to fucking die. Now, do I think this game's going to be a mitigated disaster? Right? No. I don't. Because it's a 007 James Bond game, so it will have people buying it regardless. But I don't think it's going to do the numbers it would have. Right? I think at most this game will sell about 1.5 million copies is what I would say is about what this game will do. Maybe just 1 million, if we're being honest. It really depends. But it could have done better. It would have done a lot more if you had just been true James Bond. If you'd stuck to the core values of what the character is and what the world should be. Then you would have had it. I mean, how much do you want to bet that in this game there's going to be a woman in there, with a name, like a James Bond girl name. How much do you want to bet that's gonna be in this movie? I mean, in this game, not the slightest bit. No fucking way they'll do that. If they do, I'll eat my hat, which is I'm looking at right now. I'll eat my hat. They're not gonna do it. But there we go. That is this whole thing. The James Bond game is pretty much, in my opinion, DOA. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys all next time.